Freaky fun for everyone. Sold separately.
Leonardo, the katana blade.
Attack the evil Inhumanoid, forcing him back into the earth.
Hey, the name's Boglins. You sold separately.
Battle Armor He-Man and Skeletor each sold separately. You put them out together.
Turn them into the light, and they change into even more powerful.
Battle against Lion-O and the new Thundercat ally.
What was that?
What was what?
What was that move?
I was getting some of the cat hair off my shirt.
That's not a move.
What do you mean?
No, I thought you were like, yeah.
No, it's more like, get the hair off.
Well, anyways, we're back.
Oh, are you recording?
Oh, we are. Oh, there is cat hair flying everywhere.
Yeah, see, I told you.
That is legit.
Hey, welcome back to That New Toy Smell here on the Pop Culture Network. As always, I am co-host Dirt, along with co-host
Killen.
And we are back with another episode of That New Toy Smell.
Yay!
Yay! Now, today on the show, we're going to do a walkthrough of the store, because a lot of guys have been asking what the store looks like, and we've moved stuff around since the last time we looked at it. In fact, one of the reasons why there hasn't been one of these shows in a while is because we've been working with new display cases and moving stuff around, and we had the Halloween Comic Fest and all that kind of stuff going on. So
yeah, live stuff.
Yeah, so now you can look and see what everything looks like now, because it actually looks like a legit store now. It's really weird.
Yeah, we got legit. Now we just need some of those customers that they be talking about.
If you know any, be sure to let them know we're here. Also on today's show, Killen has a look at...
we're going to do Skeleton Warriors. Yay!
Yay! Is that a yay?
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I didn't know. I haven't seen the video yet, so I didn't know if that was good or bad.
Well, you just wait.
Be blown away,
yeah,
right?
Mind blown.
And then we'll have some news, and we have some of your questions and comments to round out the show. So, without further ado, what are we going to do first?
We're going to roll this video so you can be amazed.
All right.
Following a slew of knockout wins with Ninja Turtles, Playmates moves into what it believes will be the next Masters of the Universe type board property toy, Skeleton Warriors. Leading in with this toy line follow the cartoon and comic book series, helping to push and promote this toy line each and every Saturday morning. The cartoon lasted only 13 episodes before it was cancelled due to the dark tones and underselling toy line.
These are the tales of the Skeleton Warriors.
Basically, the story goes as follows. The whole thing takes place on the planet of Luminaire. The plot revolves around controlling the Light Star Crystal. The crystal powers the massive city of Luminicity. Baron Dark, the main baddie on the series, steals half of the crystal while the other is controlled by Prince Lightstar, the hero. Baron Dark, holding one piece of the crystal, is turned into a living skeleton and allows him to turn evil men into a skeleton army. So every episode is nothing more than Lightstar and his family battling out with Baron Dark, who attempts to gain control of the other half of the crystal. Simple, right? Well, turns out it didn't stick, so after only 1 year of production, the series ends. Season 2 is dropped. But enough of this sad story, let's talk about the toys. So in 1994, Playmates brings the toys from the cartoon and places them into your local toy stores. And they do what they consider the best idea. They lead with the villains. Skeleton Warriors was only the second cartoon ever to be named after the bad guys, the humanoids being the first. So in an initial offering, they bring out, of course, Baron Dark, the Skeleton Warrior leader, as well as Dr. Cyborg, Dagger, Shriek, and Arcula. Now these 5 figures are extremely well painted, and they look great in the package. Playmates places them in their now famous dynamic posing, giving them much improved articulation from the previous Playmate offerings. Each skeleton is highly detailed and covered in shiny gold accents, giving them a very evil and sinister look. These figures just look great. Each figure is packaged with several accessories and a poster with a comic on the back, but we'll get into the comic a little later. So after the initial wave of Skeleton Warriors, Playmates brings out the heroes of the line. But by this time, the cartoon is already facing cancellation, and the next wave of toys is canceled. So they quickly release, while they can, the heroes. So we got Grim Skull, Prince Lightstar, and Ursa the Guardian. They also quickly released 2 different vehicles. Again, these figures look great, but regardless, the toy line is heading down. So what happened to the series? Well, some people believe the dark tones were a little much for families to get behind. Plus, with the crazy success of Power Rangers, boys were moving their attention from Skeleton Warriors and onto more colorful hero-type toys. Would it have helped to lead with the heroes? I guess we'll never know. It seems that Skeleton Warriors was just a property well ahead of its time. Had it come out today, it probably would have been a hit, but in 1994, they just weren't having it. And what about that comic I mentioned? Well, Marvel took on the license. It only ran 4 parts before it was ultimately canceled. The comic simply came out just a little too late into the fall of the toy line. All in all, this is most definitely a toy line that you want to place on your shelves, simply because they just look great. And the good news is, they are very easy to find. You find them in most toy shows and easily online. It's sad we come to the end, but we must say goodbye to Skeleton Warriors. This was one of the greatest could have been toy lines that I am amazingly happy to own. If you ever come across them or see them out there, I highly suggest you pick some up.
And there you have it. That is the gist of Skeleton Warriors, which is actually, there's not really much to talk about because it didn't really go that long. So basically, it came from Playmates, as we discussed in the video, but this, at the time when this came out, it was important to realize that for us He-Man lovers, we were like thinking, you know, we got some, I mean, obviously this came out in the mid-90s, but we were thinking, you know, we getting something that's similar to He-Man in a way. You know, they're a little bit close to what, you know, Skeletor and that kind of a situation. The figures are actually a little bit bigger. These are like, you know, they're like a 6-inch line, but they're like, some of these skeletons are like towering.
So I know, like, this is a line that you've personally talked about for a while.
Yep.
And something that you've been wanting to do. You've been buying these at toy shows for a while.
I have. I buy
stuff.
multiples.
So why this line?
You know what it is and this is my opinion on this line. The human part of the line suck. I don't have nothing to do with them. I just wanted the skeletons because they were cool. They look cool. They were all embossed with the shiny metallic, you know, armor pieces. They were, you know, they're skeleton warriors, and they actually looked good in the package. When you take them out, I mean, they still look good, but then you start realizing some of the flaws in the figures.
Right.
You know, the articulation was extremely poor. You know, they seem to stand okay, but I mean, but they are, I don't know, it's like,
They do have...
They feel cheap.
Yeah, well, and for instance, a lot of this, I look at it, and it looks like it should be multiple pieces on the leg. Like, you've got the hip bone, the leg bone, the bottom part of the leg bone, you've got this fur around the bottom of the boot, and the foot, and it looks like this should be several different pieces stuck together, and of course it's just one molded piece painted. And so when you look up close, of course, the paint application isn't the greatest, and... You know, so it definitely has some issues, but I mean, from a distance, it looks cool. In the package, it looks cool. But.
Yeah, on display, these are what I would consider display pieces because they look good on a shelf and they look good in package. However, for those of you that actually play with your toys, to whatever extent, these are not really. You're not gonna get too much value out of them. If that makes sense.
They do shoot.
They do have action.
Woo!
They do have action features.
We'll never find that again.
And so, like I said, this is a line that came out, you know, by Playmates in the prime of Ninja Turtles. It was an alternative from the Turtle craze, and the first thing I thought was He-Man. The first thing I saw when I saw these, I was thinking He-Man again. I was like, cool. And then they did produce the cartoon that was the commercial, basically, to sell out the toys. But that, again, didn't go very long. I think the complete series is, you know, it's a DVD or two long. It's really small. But it's also hard to find for all those people that actually collect the video. Now, the main villain leader is Baron Dark. And, of course, just recently they had the Kickstarter project to get these figures remade in a smaller scale. Do you remember that?
Vaguely. I mean, now that you mentioned that, I kind of remember something about that.
I think it was October Toys did it, and
did it happen? It
did happen. I haven't ordered it. It should be here. I think they said December.
Let me see.
So I should be getting it soon, but I don't actually have one to show you. But they redid Baron Dark and one of the skeletons. So those should be out fairly soon. If you get those actually look really good. They use the Glio system, which gives you an idea of how good the quality is going to be.
But that obviously makes them a lot smaller.
They are smaller, but the looks are pretty good. I mean, it looks great.
And your internet is not connecting right now.
Okay, so basically, out of the humans, there was the three humans. There was the Prince Lightstar, and there was the Guardian dude who basically was a Man-at-Arms knockoff. At least I thought so. And there was Grimskull, which was, you know, a half-man, skeleton kind of a guy, which I finally found. I've been looking for this dude forever, and I just found him recently at the King County Toy Show that we went to a couple weeks ago.
And you didn't film anything at the King County Toy Show?
We did not. We had a lot of problems at the King County Toy Show. So, we got that, and there was 5 main figures. Baron Dark, we got Shriek, which he's still in the package here. He was kind of like the Beastmaster of the group. Then we have Arcula, which was kind of like a spider-style multi-arm skeleton warrior. Then we have Dagger, which was a smaller, like, dum-dum one of the group. And then Dr. Cyborg, which I couldn't find him. I haven't found him ever anywhere. So I'm missing that figure out of my collection.
All right, yeah. The Kickstarter, Glio's Compatible Skeleton Warriors, successfully funded on June 23rd.
Yep.
They raised $50,000. They only needed $45,000. So they got a little above and beyond. But that was June 23rd, and they're still not.
I know they're supposed to hit anytime. So those will actually be. They actually have the Baron Dark, and then they have some single basic skeleton semi-warriors that fits in there, because they did get the license to actually make the Baron Dark. Now, it's important to realize that there was a lot of toys planned for this line that just never made it. There was a massive dragon skeleton looking thing that never made it. There was a couple of vehicles that kind of got kicked off to the side, and I think there was expanded characters that would have made but got dropped as well. I mean, honestly, there's not much to say about this line. It's definitely a toy line that I remember just based on looks. And another funny thing while I'm thinking about it, when you look at these figures, if you ever, if you open them and you look at the back of the packaging on the cards, the accessories are differently shown painted than what you're actually.
Well, but they always say that though, right? Like.
Yeah, but it's sad because the way they're painted on the back, like for instance, Arcula stuff right here, his little shooting thing. In the picture, it's gold, like his armor. It's all golden out, and black and gold tone, which it looks great. And his gun has painted accents. It's supposed to be multicolored. It's all solid black. His shield looks the same. And his jewel that he's supposed to have is a different color. And honestly, we're not even sure if we put that in the right spot because there's no real.
There's no instructions or anything.
And I haven't watched cartoon in a while, so I can't really, based on looks.
Like Baron's dark shard sword. This back part's supposed to be white bone. This is all supposed to be gold and black. He's got a blaster and a bone battle axe. These are supposed to be gilded in that gold flake, and they're just plastic. They're purple plastic, so they look absolutely nothing like what's on the photo.
Which is a very basic Playmates hallmark. I mean, they did all their accessories solid color, separated from the figure itself in a total different color to kind of set the accessories out. So that's not surprising. It's just I don't understand why on their photo packaging of the figures themselves do they do that, because
it doesn't look like the figure that's actually in the package.
And the pictures look a million times better than what you actually get.
And like his head, the eye sockets are painted black and the pupils are painted on his eyes, whereas here it's all just that stupid bone color and the eyes are just completely blank on the gilded gold eyeballs. So
now, honestly, when you see these figures out, majority of the you're going to find the humans and some of the skeletons fairly cheap. I mean, under like $5 on card. I mean, $5-10 is an average price for them. Some of the figures like Grimskull took me a while to find them. I found them for $20 on a card.
This guy looks like he's long lost brother of the dude on the Iron Maiden album covers. I mean, honestly, maybe it's his dad or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's.
I love Mr. Sinister.
It's all those '90s craziness. Yeah. So, like I said, there's not much to say about this. Additionally, with this little cool locker poster for your locker. Right. It also had a piece of a comic book, which there was a comic for this as well. It was very short-lived. I think it was 3 or 5 parts. I don't know. It's a really small comic series that helped, again, sell the idea of what you're getting. And since comics were dramatically popular in the 90s, we can kind of see why it was possible there was a comic for this toy line. However, it was not a strong seller, and it did not last.
It was from Marvel Comics. Wow. Looks like it went 3 issues.
Yeah. I have those issues. I knew it was like a short run. But, yeah, so these things are out there. They're really cool. I mean, honestly, if you just want to throw them up on a shelf and, stick them next to your He-Man figs, they're kind of cool. I
mean, with the 2000X, they kind of fit in that scale.
Yeah. Clearly, you're not gonna, if you put the originals, they're going to be small in comparison. Right. They're going to be completely out of scale. But yeah, they're cool. I like this line. I really don't have much to say about it other than looks sold me on this completely, and not actual functionality. In the cartoon was crap. It was great at the time, but I rewatched it a couple years ago and I was kind of like, oh, this does suck. The comic is a commercial in itself. It's a basic no story. And I know a lot of people out there who may actually enjoy it and be like, oh no, it's great. Look, come on, let's be realistic. It was no masterpiece, okay? It was okay, and it was good at the time, but further reflection, it's not that great. Man.
All right, well, that's going to do it for Skeleton Warriors. Next up, we are going to do a walkthrough of the store, so you can see what it looks like now, all of the new glass display cases, everything we got in. And then when we come back to the table, we'll be looking at some of your questions and comments, as well as some of the news and happenings around the toy world.
Yo. Alright, so we're going to do a walkthrough of the store real quick, but we're going to start back and lead yourself forward. In previous ones we've done forward and back. I don't know if that really matters, but this is the way we're going to do it today. So, if you've seen any of the other videos before, we used to carry all the comics in the very back of the store. We switched it around now because our sections are growing. So we put all the movies back here. Movies, which will be DVDs, Blu-rays, and music CDs, which we'll keep expanding. Right now, we're trying to use every little piece of the space we can. but we have a lot more plans to deeply expand this section. So follow me. We'll come down to some of the other sections here. And of course, we still have more DVDs. And then now on our new glass shelving we got going on here, we have additional DVDs broke down in categories, including new sealed movies. On the opposite side, we have Blu-ray, new sealed Blu-ray movies and all that. And we also are, since these are nice glass shelving, we're throwing additional toys that make sense for the sections in here, including, like, this is an anime area over in this general area, so we have most of the anime-based toys sitting right here for you to peruse. Okay, and now generally right here in this spot has always been more or less a Star Wars area, because we always have ridiculous amounts of Star Wars, which most toy stores do. So we've kind of packed it as deep we can, separated it, and put it in here. These pegs are pretty deep. They go pretty back, so there's a lot of stuff here. And we got stuff on the ceilings because it's getting out of control. And then of course we have this glass display completely full, all the way around it with just miscellaneous Star Wars stuff. Okay, and then on this is the back right side with all the movies. On the back left side of the store is generally where we put most of the toys, including all the toys broke down in certain specific categories on the glass shelving. All the way around, we have our big, massive World of Nintendo display case here that's completely full of loose toys out of packaging. And we got them separated by comic, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and miscellaneous, including statues, vintage toys. We got some Princess of Power stuff sitting back there, one card, some graded toys, and all that great goodness. And of course, vehicles. We got stuff on the ceilings. And just more and more toys and toys. We got a lot of classics here that we're still trying to get rid of. And then our peg walls here start with some older Spawn stuff, which is pretty common stuff. And then a lot of other properties, including Ninja Turtles, Star Trek, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Tron, that no one cares about.
Hey.
And then a lot of comic book based stuff, which is generally a lot of DC Direct, Mattel brands. And then we got just a little slither of like random sports stuff that we don't really carry too much of, but somehow always finds its way into our store, including cars, Hot Wheels, toys, you know, that stuff. We got some loose stuff sitting here. We got a lot of just miscellaneous, loose, small things that we throw in most of these containers here. We got, for whatever reason, and this is something that Rick has done to us recently.
Intern Rick
is throwing all these mini mates into the display case here, so which is completely, you know, you can't come here and look through them or nothing. You have to like, hey, can I get some help? This is obviously got to change. And then we got brick toys, including Lego, Mega Bloks, knockoff Creo, all that stuff generally sits in this area, including some pegs of random like Hot Wheel properties, and we still got some Slug Zombie stuff sitting here. And then on this wall we have clamshelled, mostly vintage stuff, including Ninja Turtles, some other like Ghostbusters, Dick Tracy, all that miscellaneous stuff usually ends up on this wall. Including, hey, we got some California raisins. And then we do host gaming here every Tuesday and Thursday nights. Every Thursday night we do HeroClix. This area expands out and gets bigger for that event. And we do it all in the back end of the store. And we also do Warhammer on Tuesdays.
War Machine.
War Machine. Same thing. We got some apparel, shirts. A lot of this is T-Fury shirts that we collect. And then over here we carry most of the trading card stuff, which we're still filling out.
Trading card stuff?
And magazines, including Playboy, which, you know, unless you're a little child, that's not a big deal. And we have all these vintage trading cards, new trading cards, We keep most of the trading card game packs here, including Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh! We got some My Little Pony, Pokemon, stuff like that that generally sells on a weekly basis. We keep it all here. You can get the packs out of these dispensers. Just pull it out what you want. Look at that. Technology. And then in the middle of the store, we keep all the gaming and gifty items, including, you know, like Marvel playing cards and Funko mystery toys are sitting here generally. Any blind bag stuff is usually put in this general area. And then on the middle caps, we keep all our board games, painting kits, puzzles, card games, dice games. We have any Dungeons and Dragons stuff, like we have these Bones paintable minifigures here, so you can get these if you are into any role-playing game, tabletop role-playing. We keep a lot of the family games here from Blue Orange, a lot of card, dice games. We've got nice selections. Bigger Magic and Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh! Box sets, dual decks, starter decks, box sets. We keep all that stuff in this area. And then for whatever reason we created this Walking Dead. We had so much random Walking Dead stuff, we created a whole section of just Walking Dead. And then as you enter the store, on your left side is all the comics, which ranges from the beginning of the store all the way to about a little past halfway. On this whole entire side is comics, including all the Marvel stuff, DC stuff. We got new releases set over here in the corner every week. All the independents, IDW, Image, Dark Horse. We keep all the kids stuff on these cases here in the independent seller, stuff like that. Then we keep all some other on the opposite side, which would be small press indie comics, Dynamite, Boom, all that stuff generally sits in here. And of course, any high dollar books we keep generally up here, older stuff mostly, autographed, vintage. It's ever changing. And we'll just keep going on with the comic stuff. We keep trades on these glass cases. We got millions of trades all over the place. And recently what we've done is we started doing sets. We have so many comics now, we've been grouping up sets, including vintage sets. You know, for instance, this is Punisher War Journal 1 through 16. So that's all the comics there. They're all bag and boarded and bounded. And we got tons of sets there. We got more sets here, more trays here, more sets here, more sets there, more sets there. On the opposite side, in the white boxes, we got sets here and here and here, all up and down. Older stuff that's over a year or two, all up in there. On this side, we have, when you walk in, the first right is all video game stuff. So this is all PS2, Xbox, PSP, PS3, DS, 3DS, PS1, 360, PC, Sega Saturn, Dreamcast, you know, Game Boy, and then starting in the middle section, we keep all the stuff in the glass cases, which would be Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Nintendo, vintage games, cartridge games. And then, of course, we got manga. We got tons of manga for all you manga fans out there, including sets, individual things. Then at our workstation, where we usually are, we have in our display cases, we have more Nintendo games here, Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance, loose DS. We got some Sega Master stuff here, PS4, Xbox One stuff, some brand new sealed stuff. This, of course, is our checkout counter, which we've thrown thousands of stickers on because it used to be pink and ugly, and now it's just terribly ugly and covered with stickers. And then on the counters, we have mostly miscellaneous stuff. And then we also have a really cool thing back here, really high dollar, high end, first appearance, graded books, including like first Superboy, first Wolverine, first Gambit, first Punisher.
So there's the store. Let us know what you think. And, of course, if you want to order anything, where should they go?
You guys go to killenenterprises.com, and there's a little button right there that says...
right here.
Yeah, there's a little button at the website that says check our inventory, and you can do that. Or if you're on Facebook, you can like our store at facebook.com/killenenterprises. and then you can find out about all the crazy stuff. Because we actually do a lot of events in the store. Now we actually have a bigger store. Like we have a comic book artist in here signing autographs. We have free comic events, you know, that kind of stuff. Maybe we'll do some video game.
Actually, if you go to popculturenetwork.com, there is a banner at the top of the page, usually for an ad for a comic that is available through the store on eBay. So you can click on that, and then you can also go to the other sections if you want to look at toys. Or
yeah, so if you are in the market for buying comics every week, you can buy them from us. And also the over 120,000 items that we currently have in stock, including movies, toys, comics, everything you see in the tour.
All right. You want to talk about a couple things of news first?
Yes, let's talk. First, let's talk about something that is good for us to hear as, for me personally, as a parent reflecting on going down the cereal aisle.
Mm-hmm.
I was really sad to explain to I was trying to explain to my daughter the other day that cereal was, she's not a big cereal eater, and I told her how cereal was amazing for us as kids because, you know, there was always a toy prize in the bottom of the, you know, the cereal.
Right. In fact, I had a similar conversation with my kids not too long ago.
And, you know, it didn't really matter what cereal was. We bought based on what the toy was
right.
inside, and we always dumped the box or dug our hand completely in to pull out that prize every time we opened it. Even though our parents said not to, you have to eat it and wait till you get down to it or whatever they used to tell me.
No,
whatever. Yeah, I'm digging for it. So I was trying to explain to her that, you know, there used to be toys inside almost every cereal. And, you know, we're looking down the aisle and there's like one or two like Melloway things. There's like maybe stickers in a box.
Online codes that you can use for a game at their website.
And let's be honest, the price of cereal has kind of jumped up. And I really feel like, you know, that they should have kept the toy. That was like, that made breakfast for me.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I think it was General Mills has announced that through a partnership with Mega Bloks that they will be returning toys into the actual boxes.
Now, General Mills pointed out that in the past they've offered other types of prizes. They had Star Wars pins in the box. They had DC comic books. They had the mini comics in the box. So in the box is something they've been trying to bring back for a while. But now they have partnered with Mega Bloks to put actual toy cars in the box with Mega Bloks nubs on the top, so you can actually build with your Mega Bloks on top of the actual car in perfect scale with your Mega Bloks. These are not like super big. It's not like the Happy Meal Lego toys.
I don't even want to talk about that. I'm still upset about that.
But these, they are compatible, and they come with stickers. So you can decide if you want it to be the Power Ranger car or if you just want a Red Race car. If you want it to be the Hello Kitty car or you just want it to be a regular car, you can put the license stickers on it if you want to and turn it into one of those toys.
So now while that is a basic you know, step forward or continuation, I guess in their case, if it does take off and becomes popular, that could be a whole new movement towards, because as you may have noticed in the last, I don't know, a few years, it seems like a lot of retro returns have been happening to stuff from the 80s and 90s of our generation. We're getting more and more toys brought back. A lot of TV shows, cartoons are being resurfaced. You know, the idea of the cereal coming back, that's great. So I would suggest you go out and buy it, so maybe they keep, you know, keep the idea going.
Well, they have announced that, assuming this goes well, everything goes fine, starting in February, they are going to start a Skylanders Skystones game. It will include actual cards for the game in the box, and then I guess on the back of the box will be the game board or whatever. You'll have some game pieces, so you will actually, you know, be able to assemble a Skylanders box. And have a game there on the back with exclusive pieces available through the cereal. So they're pushing, they're trying to find stuff, but I kind of wonder though if now, since it's been so long, if it's hard to get toy companies to jump on board and do something like this.
You know, it also may, and I don't know this or not, but it may also be some kind of like, you know, toy and food like law or rule that's preventing plastic pieces being included in cereal. You know, I never thought about
I'm sure there's some sort of law that if
because
the food isn't nutritious enough, then you can't have a toy in it. You know?
That probably is part of the rules. But also, you know, a couple years ago, we decided that, you know, the nasty lead painted plastics from China was like not good for us anymore. So we had to do that whole recall. So, you know, basically in the 80s as kids, we were eating the cereal that possibly was contaminated, but, you know, obviously you only grew that mask and, you know, I'm okay.
Huh. Hey, let me ask you something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you remember when Jazzwares made those Mortal Kombat toys? They had all the figures?
Yeah, the very basic, terribly painted, and sometimes cross-eyed toys, yes.
So were you excited when you heard they were coming out? When you heard the announcement?
Yes, because they were in a great scale that I wanted, and my hopes were like up here, and delivery was like down here somewhere.
Well, would you feel better if you heard that someone else was now going to acquire the license to make the toys instead of a company like Jazzwares?
Well, after they've let me down time and time again, yes.
How about Mezco toys? Would that be a better match for you?
That would, because they are actually caring about collectors, and it seems to be the way they're going right now. Now, I gotta say, Mezco stuff isn't necessarily amazing. However, it is generally very good. Like their average figure is, you know, it's a little higher end.
Well, it's not like you're buying a Hot Toys figure.
Yeah,
or something
I mean,
like
you
that.
know, but it's, you know, like certain companies always like. For instance, let's take NECA. They usually put out a pretty decent toy, and Mezco. I don't know. NECA and Mezco to me are like they're like right there.
Real
it's
close.
It's just Mezco doesn't put enough stuff out. Is the problem for me?
Well, they are going to continue to do 3 3/4-inch figures and 6-inch figures, which is what Jazzwares had been attempting to do. Plus, they're going to do accessories, bobbleheads, plush figures, clip-ons, keychains, and more.
Well, you know, the merchandise that comes with every property, you know, who cares?
But I'm glad to see the 3 3/4-inch and 6-inch figures are going to continue, so they will technically be in scale with the other figures that you already bought.
And hopefully you'll get the figure you wish you would have bought. Because those figures were so... I mean, we sold them when they came out, and I literally was thinking, I can't believe we're selling this. Like, the price point for what you got was, it was dollar store toys at a standard retail price.
Well, I actually did a video for Pop Culture Network looking at some of the toys. You can go take a look at that if you want to, but I was somewhat disappointed with how they turned out. Small spoiler for you. Now, they did reveal some of the 6-inch figure prototypes at New York Comic Con, but they're saying that Toy Fair, February 2015, is where we will get the full big reveal, and then they will roll out to retail in spring of 2015, most likely May, is what you're looking at there.
You know what? I don't know how I feel about Mortal Kombat in a way, because I almost feel like I'm over it in a way. But if they do put out that perfect scale that I want, I mean, I basically want the older G.I. Joe style figure.
The 3 3/4.
I honestly want Hasbro to take it back over and do that. You know, we
well, Hasbro's got enough problems to worry about right now. We don't have to worry about Hasbro.
We get what we get, okay?
All right. A little bit of Kickstarter news. We've got some bad news here. The Eon Quest 5.5-inch collectible action figures, the basically He-Man revival, if you will, in that same classic scale with mini comics. It looks like it is not going to make it as of the time that we are recording this. They made a goal of $70,000. They've raised just under $10,000. So they set the bar very high.
That's pretty high.
You know, the Skeleton Warriors, for instance, that was 45. This one they set at 70. And I think some people looked at the goal and just said they're not going to make the goal and didn't bother to pledge. And so it is way down, which is too bad because they look actually really cool.
You know what I feel about the He-Man Revive figures, or they're the ones molded off them? It's getting to be a little too much. There's a lot of saturation going on with that right now.
There is. And I understand what you mean.
It's like every indie toy person right now is kicking out a He-Man knockoff toy, which generally I like. I'm okay with that. It's just, it's to the point now there's so much to choose from, and generally they're all pretty high price points.
Well, and the price point is part of the problem, because I did back this on Kickstarter, but your first buy-in at a figure level is $33. So $33 just for the one figure is what you're looking at. And then if you want multiple figures, you want army building, that type of stuff, you're looking at a much higher price point. Now, I've been talking to some of the guys like Ben Spencer and Nerd City. Some of those guys, they live in places like Chicago. The cost of living in Chicago is so much higher. What they spend on food, on liquor, on transportation. Yeah. Well, liquor especially, but
that's different because that's a very limited run of a figure.
But yeah, but the price that they pay for things is so much higher than what anywhere else in the country besides those large metropolitan areas. That people in those areas don't think that $30 for a figure, they're okay with that, because they're used to paying a higher price point. For us, once you get above like $12 for a figure, it's like, oh, this better be something awesome. You know what I mean? Honestly,
when you say $30 or $33, whatever, that's a little lower than I would imagine they would have been, because obviously shipping's included in that, and that's probably a good $3 or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I guess 30 isn't bad for a single. However, I would have much rather saw the price point around 20.
But I figure for a collectible Kickstarter figure, 33 isn't that bad.
Yeah, and a goal of 70 is like that's high. That's high expectations.
I hope though that the mini comics still come out. I'm looking forward to those. All right, next up, another Kickstarter program. This is the Visionaries Collector's Guide. This is actually over in the UK. Christopher Ibbott and Gemma Tovey. I'm probably pronouncing every single one of those wrong except for Christopher. But anyway,
I don't know.
They are working on basically a comprehensive guide to Visionaries. Every figure, every vehicle, the background history, how the line came to be, everything like that. So it's part like a historical collection of the figures, but also a guide so you can go through and look at your collection, look at what pieces you're missing, what was supposed to be there. And he's gone into great detail where, photographing the figure from different sides. He's got the hologram, how those look, different ways that you can pose them. So a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort has gone into this. Also looking at the comics, and some of the other stuff that tied in with Visionaries, of course, the cartoon, things like that. So that's something worth looking for on Kickstarter right now. It is, let me scroll all the way back to the top, Visionaries Knights of the Magical Light Collector's Guide. And that is on Kickstarter right now.
That's actually, those kind of projects I'm okay with, because it is obviously a definitive breakdown. The line's been gone and over with, so you can legitimately collect every piece of information about that and put it in one guide. And Visionaries, I don't see anything with Visionaries on it. So that's
well. And the other thing is, it's a hardcover, or I don't know, if it's a hardcover book or a softcover book. Anyway, an actual printed copy of the book will be mailed to you for about $20. It is £12 in British pounds to US dollars. I'm not the best at math, but it's about $20. If you just want a PDF version, it's £8. I'm not sure what that converts to. $15 maybe, I guess. So it's not that expensive. So again, that's one of those where you can jump in. It's not a super high price point for what you're getting.
And honestly, any information on Visionaries is already pretty hard to find. Like, I can't think of any, other than small clippings of what's out there. I've never seen like, if I was to buy, for instance, a Visionary toy somewhere, and I was trying to figure out, I'm trying to collect the line, or if I'm trying to see if I'm missing, I don't even know if I can go anywhere online to find that information.
And a lot of times, I just like having these just some night, just sit down and flip through the books. I've got some Transformers guides that are that way, and I will sometimes just sit there and, flip through them.
Are you doing the Toys R Us wish list book and going through it and going, oh, I wish I had this.
Yeah.
I wish I had that.
Sometimes I do that. What? Stop making fun of me. Shut up! I hate you.
I didn't even really say nothing. I have 50 Lego guides. I never look at them. Other than the first day I get them, I flip through them and I'm like, oh yeah. And I stick them on my shelf, and I have I have a row of Lego books from DK mostly, this deep, pretty much everything that's ever been put out.
Well, DK does a lot of those books, though, that a lot of times they're not really all that useful with anything, but they come with the toy.
They do come with
exclusives.
exclusives.
So you got to get that exclusive toy.
And I have just a ridiculous amount of books, but readings for, suckers.
All right. Question from Clone Yoshi. He says, "Hey guys, what are your opinions on the Guardians of the Galaxy mini ships and minifigures line? Have you seen those? No. They have minifigures that are about this big, a couple inches tall, and you get 2 of them in a pack. How much are they?
Yeah.
I want to say it's like $7 or $8 for the 2 little figures. I like the idea. I don't necessarily like the execution. I do think that they are cool looking little figures. The problem is they're not very articulated. I mean, it's pretty much they're in the pose, and then maybe you can move an arm, but.
So basically, you just want a Groot and a Rocket Raccoon, and that's all you need.
Right, but if it had like ball joints, swivel joints, where you could actually do something with them, I'd be a little more excited for them. And maybe that'll be something in the future if it picks up enough that they decide that they'll make more for some other line in the future. The ships are pretty cool because, ships don't really have to do much. They just have to look cool and sit there. So I'm more okay with those than I am with the figures. But I was a little disappointed in them, but they're okay. If they ever go on sale or clearance, like if I walk into Target and they've got the big red clearance sticker and they're like $3, whatever, then I'm buying.
Don't even act like that matters. You'll buy anything that's on.
I haven't bought any of these yet.
They're not on clearance, are they?
Well, no.
But anything on clearance that you find that's like, and only you find the most ridiculous 10-cent clearance or whatever.
Hey, I did not buy the MP3 player with the Witches of Waverly Place Disney Channel branding on it. I let that one pass. Even though it was only like $6 for an MP3 player, I let it pass.
You thought about it.
I did think about it.
You did think about it.
I was like, I can throw it in the car, have an MP3 player in the car. I mean, why not, right? All right. First up, this question's for you. This is from Sater000. How much for the Ninja Wolverine? And do you have Ninja Sabretooth?
I don't even know what that means.
One of these figures on the wall behind us was Ninja Wolverine, and he wanted to buy it.
I don't know. Honestly, if you go to our website and just search our inventory, it'll tell you the price, and you can actually buy it right there off eBay. But do we have the other one? I don't know. I don't have a computer in front of me to check. But
you just tap the table.
I don't even remember a Ninja Wolverine, to be honest with you. So, all right. I don't even know if we have that or not. That might be gone.
War Machine Vengeance says that Superpowers is greater than Secret Wars. Do you remember the Superpowers line? Yeah. We talked about last time, the Kenner toys. He says those are better than the Secret Wars ones we looked at last time. Which, yes, they are. They had the action features. They had original sculpts for all the characters.
Clearly they're better toys. But do I like Marvel's characters better than DC? Yes, I do.
Well, see, I like DC's characters better. I still like the Secret Wars line because it was more affordable. And I remember I could buy a bunch of them back in the day.
You know my problem with DC... Look, now you started this.
I didn't start this.
You know my problem with DC's characters and all, they feel like old-timey. That's my problem with them.
What's wrong with old-timey?
That's just my problem with it. I'm just not...
Give me a glass of bourbon and a flapper girl with a cigarette. I'll be fine.
Like 40s and 50s where they belong.
All right, Johnny Black says we need to do an Ultraman or a Godzilla episode.
Oh man, Godzilla would be rough. you know, Ultraman would be rough, but just getting stuff would be a problem because none of that stuff's cheap. And where do you start? There's so much Godzilla. What is it, like 75 years now of Godzilla? So, or is it 60 or 75? I can't remember what anniversary was just recent, but there's a lot of stuff. There is a lot of stuff. And what do we do? I guess you would have to start with Shogun Warriors. Is that
Ultraman. I guess with Ultraman, you could break it down by like generation, like they did Ultraman Tiga, which was a specific series that had a specific toy tie-in. So you could look at those specific ones without the entire line.
I have zero Ultraman.
I have some Ultraman things.
I have no Ultraman or knowledge of Ultraman.
Huh.
I have some Godzilla stuff, a few minor, pieces. Nothing to like.
Although
be proud of.
Godzilla, I will say, in the mid to late '90s, they did mini playsets for Godzilla, so it looked like Mechagodzilla's head, and then you would open it up, kind of like the Mighty Max,
yeah.
right? Like Mighty Max. Hot Wheels had some also. Star Wars did them, but you would open it up, and inside it was like the army base with the a missile silo on the top, or there was one that was Godzilla's head, and you'd open it, and there was like the bridge that he could stomp and smash, and so I mean they had some neat little play sets. I had those at one time. I think I lost them in the flood in my basement actually.
Like they floated away.
Well, they were covered in sewage.
Yeah, the plastic, right? You just wash them out.
Well, the stickers.
You throw them in the dishwasher, you're good.
Not with stickers. All right, Mortimer T. Graves says, guys, if you're going to spotlight new toys, like we did last time, we were showing off some of the new toys, please show some close-ups.
Okay. Well, that was poor. Look, when we record these videos, generally it's a last-minute effort to get it together, and we always forget additional cameras or all that. So you get what you get, and you don't get upset.
You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. That's what I always tell my kids. All right, this is the last thing I wanted to talk about. This right here. This is the Optimus Prime from the Rescue Bots Transformers. Okay?
Okay.
Now, they've been doing these for the last few years, and they've always looked like the movie versions, basically. Just switched up a little bit and made into this kid-friendly line. Well, they finally released one. Looks like the G1 Optimus Prime cab. It's the snub-nosed cab. And his transformation is basically the same as the original G1 figure, which actually got me really excited for it. Because it's Rescue Bots, it's a super easy transformation. There you go. Now, you do have to flip out the feet, but otherwise, it's the same transformation style as the G1 figure. It has the same G1 look to it, which I love the look of it. He comes with this weird weapon, which is like a buzzsaw on a gun.
Very Gears of War.
Oh, I was going to say, it looks like a Gears of War Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing. I don't know why Optimus Prime would need this, but you can put it in his hand. And
considering this is a kid's toy line, too, that's a little violent.
Yeah, it's a little weird. But I've talked before about some of the Rescue Bots on Formers Friday. We talked about before my hatred of the movie version Optimus Prime. One of the reasons I wanted to bring this up is not only is it durable, it's good for kids, I think 3 and up, you know, so if you've got some relative for Christmas, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, you want to get him a Transformer, you can get him this. But they just re-released him for the holiday season. Now he comes with a big gray trailer. And when he transforms, you can take the trailer and actually attach it to the back, and it makes these giant wings on him. So he can be like this battle station flying Optimus Prime that looks pretty cool. I keep wanting to buy one, and they keep selling out. They actually sell. They're only like $25, I think, for him with the trailer on the back to become the battle station. So I mean, they're relatively cheap. They're safe for pretty much all ages. So if you've got a relative, you don't know what to buy him, get him one of these Rescue Bots Optimus Primes, one of these transforming ones, because these are cool. I really like.
I gotta be honest. Reflecting on how many toy Transformers you've been getting over the last year or so, you gotta have a ridiculous amount of Transformers.
Yeah, and.
Yeah.
And?
Like, it clearly...
Hey, you know what? It wouldn't be so bad if Nick Ochoa wasn't out there emailing me like every day. Hey, look what I found. Hey, look what you can order. Hey, this is a super great deal. You can buy this one now for a great price. And I'm always like, yeah, okay.
Oh, which reminds me, before we end this episode, I wanted to talk about a new Loot Crate-esque crate that's available starting in December.
But it's not from Loot Crate.
It's not from Loot Crate. It's just Loot Crate-esque. Okay, obviously that's the definitive standard now for that particular style of monthly subscription toy. So there is a new service coming out. I think it's starting in December. Called Brick Loot. Now, clearly this is a Lego themed box, a monthly box that you'll get, similar to Loot Crate, and the fact that you'll get all brick themed Lego style, which means like Mega or Mega Blocks and Nanoblocks and all the other millions of minor companies that make similar brick style figures have partnered up, except for Lego. Lego's not on board with this as of yet. Which is kind of a bummer because I would love to get exclusive Lego figures out of this set. So this comes out in like I said, I believe December, and I want to say that the pricing monthly, most of the Loot Crates are about $20. I want to say these are about $25 per month, and it's not that bad considering the cost of most of that brick stuff is already pretty high. So they sent me a sample box of what's in the first run, and I'll give you a quick heads up of what's in here.
Tissue paper!
Tissue paper on top.
That's my favorite!
The box is pretty basic right now, but when Loot Crate started, it was pretty basic, and it's gotten better. It's progressively gotten better every month. So what's inside is a little pamphlet. Now with Loot Crate, there's like a book that tells you details about what's in it. This so far is just a little sheet, which is fine because I generally just throw that away anyways. But gives you a rundown of what's in your box so you can see what you have in case you're missing anything. There are some coupons for, like this is a vinyl place to get stickers, custom stickers for your figs and stuff like that, or just vinyl on your walls and similar stuff. So you get 25% off at this particular website. They got some vinyl brick style stickers there for whatever reason to stick.
On your car window.
To let everybody know that you're a fan.
Well, see, look, it's dad, mom, 2 kids, and a pet. So you just put them on your rear window. And
there is a 40% off Lego books from Nostrak.com, which is all Lego independent themed books, which is good. 40% is great. One of the cool items in there is a brick popper. Now, I've never needed to use any kind of like brick separating tool.
I have.
But this one actually looks like it would legitimately work fairly well. So that's kind of a cool intro item to get. It's like a tiny crowbar with a thumb handle on it so you can get in between the bricks and pop them off. Additionally, if you're familiar with the blocks with the kind of gear-shaped hole that you put the cross sliding pieces into, there is a popper to get those out because sometimes they get stuck in there, and that will pop. You can slide it in and it'll pop out the slide blocks in there. Now I don't even know how to say this company's name. I've always tried to figure it out. OEO? OEO. I guess it's OYO. I could never tell if it was AYO, but OEO. They make sports themed minifigs, which I never cared about because they're sports themed. Who cares about sports? However, they have an exclusive Brick Loot exclusive football player figure, which is kind of cool. So I'm pretty excited for that because any exclusive figs that are not standard is good in my books. Now, the one Lego thing they have in here is they do have I guess what they're going to do is a monthly build kit. And these are actual Legos inside here that a company has put together with instructions on how to build, whatever they're going to build every month. This month happens to be a robot on the back. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's like a little... Sex robot. Why don't you edit in close-ups later? For that. That's from JK Brickworks. Puts those together. Okay, now Brick Forge, which makes accessories for your minifigs and pieces like that, has a nice little armor. Looks like kind of like an Iron Man-esque chest piece, an arm, a helmet. So basically, it looks like an Iron Man to me. And I don't know if these are all. It says Aerial Pursuit, and I don't know if they're all going to be the same in every box or they're going to fluctuate in variety per box, which sometimes is the case. And one other thing is there is a 6x2 block in here that is LED lighted. So you push a button. I'm trying to not push it all the way in because I can't get it out without something on it. But it's a LED light up brick, which is kind of cool. I mean, there's times you need something like that for your scenery. So that's actually a pretty cool little add-on. That's from lightupblocks.com. And from Nanoblocks, they have a P-51 Mustang plane model. Now, if you notice, there's a lot. Nanoblocks have been growing pretty steadily over the last few years, making little models. They're not necessarily a minifig company, more just a straight model system. Everything they make is little, like for instance, Statue of Liberty or Eiffel Tower, or they're just straight up models. And this was actually kind of cool. It's the actual P-51 Mustang plane sitting on a little stand there, so it would look kind of cool, like on a shelf or on a desk or something like that. So this was actually a pretty decent piece added into this box. Now, like I said, and that's all that's in this box. This would be the very first month of this box, so for month 1, this is a pretty decent offering. It's definitely worth the initial investment, and you know there's no reason why you couldn't find a coupon code to get your first one signed up, because they're all over the internet right now. I thought I had one in here, but I don't see it. But pretty cool little system. If you're a fan of Lego, or you were looking for a gift for somebody this season, this would actually be. They do have monthly, bi-monthly, or so a yearly, biannually subscriptions there, so you get a bigger discount. You know, obviously the further you pay in advance. One of the nice things about this compared to like a Loot Crate is that with Loot Crate, you're gonna get stuff. You know it's going to be somehow nerd related, but you don't really know if it's going to be anything you particularly care about. That's true. So they do like a Game of Thrones box. I don't watch Game of Thrones. So it's a Game of Thrones box. It's going to be a box full of stuff that I'm not going to really care about and do anything with. With something like this, it's very specific. Well, I mean, say you get the P-51 Mustang, and you're like, well, I don't really like airplanes. They're buildable bricks. Make a castle. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't matter what it is that they actually send you. They're bricks. You just build whatever you want anyway. So if nothing else, you're getting a refresh of new pieces every month. I mean, and honestly, what I've been doing with my Loot Crates lately is I've come to realize that the stuff inside is more way far valuable than the cost of the box. And I've been selling my stuff on eBay, the stuff I don't actually care about, and I'm paying for these boxes simply off 1 or 2 items, and keeping the rest of the stuff I actually care about. Same with this. If there's something you didn't particularly care about, you can give it away, or you could just sell it, and you can probably make up the cost of your box fairly quick, depending on what you want or don't want to keep. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that this is for ages 6 through 99. So if you know someone who's 4, it's not going to be good for them. If you know someone who's 104, not good for them either. Yeah. 6 through 99, so keep that in mind. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited for this. I'm more excited to see where this goes because, you know, like I said, the progression of Loot Crate has gotten great over the last month or two. And if this sticks out, which I think it would because there's so many fans of the brick-themed toy collecting business right now that, like, for instance, they made a Transformer one, you'd be all over it. They did a Transformers Loot Crate, and I bought that one. Yeah, but if they did a Transformer-specific Loot Crate every month... well, obviously, I hate the movie figures. So if it had movie figures in it, if they did one that was all movies one month, I'd be pissed. The point is, you don't know what you're getting. Well, and I don't like that. It's like a surprise. I don't like blind box stuff. You're lame. That's the greatest thing, because every month I get mine, I'm like, oh, what am I going to get this month? And I'm like, disappointment. Awesome, disappointment. You know, it's never been 100 straight up knock out of the park, but overall I've been pretty happy with it. All right. I'm trying to think of what those wrestling things are called. Okay. Oh, the moose head. Yeah. Moose toys. Moose toys. Moose head. Well, I just wanted to bring up. We're going to be obviously doing another episode after this, and I was going to tell you what the toy was that we're going to be talking about on the next one. And of course, right now I'm having a brain fart, and I can't remember their name. And so I was trying to find it real quick. Yeah. So since we were actually slow the last few, we're going to try to speed it up and catch up with a few episodes. Here we go. Mutant Mania Mix and Match Wrestlers. That's what we're going to be looking at in the next episode. We've got some of the character packs. We've got a wrestling ring. And we're going to be taking a look at some of that stuff and how all that works together. So, I'm down. So there you go. That's what you can look forward to in the next episode. Mutant Mania Mix and Match Wrestlers. On the next episode of That New Toy Smell. Anything else you want to plug before we go? No, I'm plug free. I think you're plugged up. I'm jacked up. on Brick Loot.
Whoa. All right, then. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Don't forget, if you want to leave us a message, you can call our 24-hour voicemail line. It's area code 217-953-4025. You can send an email to killen@popculturenetwork.com or dirt@popculturenetwork.com. Always don't forget to go to popculturenetwork.com for the latest updates, tour reviews, comic previews, whatever we throw up there when we feel like it. Yep. You can always go to jointheforums.com, check out the latest conversations that we're having with our fans and viewers. And you can also find us on Facebook, you can find us on Twitter, you can find us on Google+. Are you on LinkedIn? I have a MySpace page somewhere.
I do have a MySpace page because I get hunted by it.
I do have an Elo page. If you're one of the few invited into the beta of Elo, you can find me in there.
Get offline, bro.
Why?
Elo, come on.
Elo. It's the new thing. It's hip. It's cool.
No, it's not.
It's down, Daddy-O.
No,
it's
not.
on the thing with the stuff on the computer.
Okay.
So, all right, guys, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.